How is everybody doing? Alrighty then. So, it's been an interesting last couple of days to say the least, and Naughty Dog turns off Intergalactic PS5 trailer's comments as discourse turns nasty. It's rough out there. Okay, I've looked at it, and on the PlayStation channel, the comments are still on. It's only on the Naughty Dog channel that they turned the comments off. And here's my thing with this game. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a good game or it's gonna be a bad game. That's stupid. We don't have much gameplay to say, and we don't even know much about the story anyway to say if it's good or bad. But here's what I think many people feel. It's Naughty Dog let down many fans with The Last of Us Part 2. Whether you like the game or not, or you love it or hate it, doesn't matter. Many people were let down by that game, me included. I loved the first one. The second one, man, I had to force myself to finish it, hoping it would get better, and it's just, for me, it was just shit. Okay, let me just be clear. The game itself, in terms of gameplay and graphics, all very good, no complaints there. But the story, and my main point is the story, I despise what they did with the story in the game. I really did. I've talked about it in previous videos, and I really hate what they did with the story, and I just lost my total faith in this studio just because of that. For me to gain the trust for this game, they have to really show me something very good. But let's see what this is saying. This is on Push Square. Naughty Dog has disabled the comments on its official upload of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophets debut trailer, as the discourse has soured in the aftermath of the title's announcement. PlayStation has kept the comments up on its mirror, much to the surprise of some fans. A small vocal section of the gaming populace have taken umbrage with the new protagonist Jordan A. Munn's appearance. It's worth noting the character is played by real-life actress Tati Gabrielle, who also featured as the villain in the Uncharted movie. Writing on Instagram, Gabrielle said, "I am incredibly grateful and excited for this opportunity to work on this game and with the video game god himself, Neil Druckmann, and the whole Naughty Dog team. Thank you, Neil, for seeing me and trusting me with this new baby of yours. I promise to make you proud, dude." Man, I don't mean to sound like a... How do I say this? Neil Druckmann, I don't think is a genius that people made it out to be. Because everything, even the first Last of Us, he created the first Last of Us, but it wasn't alone. He did it with someone else. And then with the remasters and remakes, they removed the name of the other guy just to keep Neil Druckmann's name only there. And then when he did The Last of Us 2 all by himself, it was the shit show that it was. So I don't think they are trying to make it seem like Neil Druckmann is this kind of a Kojima gaming god, and it's not. It's just not. Many still haven't forgiven Naughty Dog, and specifically series creator Neil Druckmann, for the plot of Last of Us 2, which leaked devastatingly prior to release. We maintain that the sequel is one of the greatest PlayStation exclusives ever made, but the discourse around it has been sour for nearing 5 years now. While we don't feel we should need to address some of the nastiness being thrown around on social media, we don't think Jordan's look is particularly out of place for a sci-fi story. Sigourney Weaver famously shaved her head for Alien 3, for example. Last year's critical acclaimed Furiosa saw Anya Taylor-Joy sport a similar look. And more importantly, none of this should matter when we know so little about the character or subject matter in question. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical of an upcoming game, regardless of whether it's from a studio with a track record on the level of Naughty Dog, but this nastiness that's unfurling around a title that otherwise looks extremely exciting is tiresome and unnecessary to say the least. Here's the thing. I think many people also remember that when, as they say here, The Last of Us 2 leaked online, one thing we have to remember as Naughty Dog also went ahead and they were striking Twitter accounts, they were striking YouTube channels, not only because of the leaks, but also for only making memes about the game, and they were striking everything that was even only made fun of that, or they were only making memes of the game, and they were striking everything, and that I think was a bit too much. And okay, they are talking about the character's appearance and all of that. Let me go into the PlayStation channel and let's see the comments what they are saying. Okay, the most surprising thing about this trailer is that Sony left the comments on. I agree with that. I feel like Will Smith will slap me for making fun of her. That is funny. The trailer is 2 hours ago. It's so old, we need a remastered. That is also a good point. Naughty Dog these last 10 years, it's being remasters and remakes of Last of Us over and over again. From a studio that got rid of all of the people who originally made those games you love as a kid and that we still take credit for. That is, I think, a good point as well. They sell Air as a separate DLC. From the studio who brought you Crash Bandicoot, Jack and Dexter and Uncharted. Nice. Now, how many of them still work there? Can I play as the characters from the background enemy instead? Studios shouldn't be allowed to use from the people who brought you tagline if 99% of the people who made those games don't work there anymore. Sony, get your grip together. That is, I think, a good point to make. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? This game is going to make a Concordian dollars. You can really tell this started production in 2020. Kotaku and the IGN already gave it 10 out of 10. That dog isn't naughty anymore. The main character looks like she belongs in Concord. That is not that bad. In order to keep the game at 60 FPS on PS5 Pro, they ditched the main characters there. Welcome to the B4 movement, soldier. Yes, from the same studio, but not the same people. Also a good point. Sony, you forgot to disable the comments before the remastered. From the studio that got rid of all the developers that made your favorite childhood games. Sometimes there's a positive side to not having a PSN account available in your country. Okay, can we swap the bald character for the one with the eye patch? It seems much more interesting. The last game from us, Concord 2, it's Concording time. Looks like Concord wasn't enough for Sony. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, but I've went through a number of comments and none of them were talking about the main character's look and attacking the main character's look. They are just making fun of the studio itself and how they make things. So this is what I mean also that it's nowadays. It's not only mainstream media but also some other people, when they see somebody criticizing something, they always feel like, oh, it's an attack, oh, it's offensive, it's that. Man, not everybody has to like everything. Jesus, what happens with, okay, I don't like this, I'm gonna say I don't like it, that's the end of it. It's not because the reason I don't like, when I say I don't like, for example, Abby from The Last of Us 2, I think it's a shitty character. Why does that make me people attack me like saying, you are sexy, you are this, you are that? I just don't like the character, that's all. I think the decisions behind the character are stupid, that's all. This thing that you have to like everything and you have to consume everything is so stupid. But let's leave that aside, because when I go in talks like this I kinda enter a rant mode and I don't wanna do that. So let's go into kind of better news. Elden Ring alone eclipses combined Dark Souls series sales. Thus shall you be blessed with night rain. Damn, Elden Ring is really killing it in sales, huh? Prior to the release of Elden Ring, the Dark Souls series, comprised of Dark Souls 1, 2 and 3, and all of its associated DLC and subsequent re-releases and remasters, amounted to an astonishing 27 million units, damn, as well as perhaps being the most influential of the last decade. Elden Ring alone has now surpassed all of that with a boost from Shadow of the Earth 3, and that is precisely why the recently revealed, more compact Elden Ring Night Rain is coming in 2025. Nico's partners, directors of research and insights, Daniel Ahmed, revealed a fun fact on X, referring to Bandai Namco's confirmation that Elden Ring had sold over 28.6 million copies as of September 2024. This shows an increase of 3.6 million units over the numbers reported in June, with Shadow of the Earth 3 launching on the 21st of that month. Man, Elden Ring is just a juggernaut of a game, isn't it? God damn. I never played it, it's not really my type of game, but man, I'm happy people like the game and the game was as good as people were expecting. The sales are kind of reflecting that, and the new DLC that they are preparing also seems interesting enough. But let's see if the DLC reaches the heights of the main game, but I guess time will tell. And now for another bit of good news. This is on Eurogamer. Capcom focusing on reactivating dormant series following Okami and Onimusha revivals. Will the Dino Crisis drought end soon? This is the thing. I think Dino Crisis is probably the game series I see people talking about the most, of wanting it back. I gotta be honest, I never played it, but they seem good. They have dinosaurs. For me, that's enough for a game to be good. Capcom is working on more revivals of its dormant series. The company said following the reveal of the new Okami and Onimusha games at the last week's Game Awards. This is what they said. In addition to regularly releasing major new titles each year, Capcom is focusing on reactivating dormant IPs that haven't had a new title launch recently, reads a press release to investors. If Sony took a page out of Capcom's book, why don't Sony PlayStation also does this? It's so stupid. The company is working to further enhance corporate value by leveraging its rich library of content, which includes reviving past IPs like Okami and Onimusha, in order to continuously produce highly efficient, high-quality titles. Stop this. It's unclear what form of revivals will take, be it in form of remasters or remake or a brand new game. For instance, both the Okami and Onimusha games are new entries in their respective series, but Capcom has also seen great success with the Resident Evil remake games. The Okami sequel will be developed by Hideki Kamiya's new Clover Studio, while Onimusha Way of the Sword is set to launch in 2026. The news of these revivals follows the success of Dragon's Dogma 2 this year, which helped to boost Capcom's expected profits, as well as the recent Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered and Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Man, Capcom has been on a success spree these last years. They've been killing it in gaming releases. So what should be next? Dino Crisis is perhaps the most obvious, especially considering the fan interest in the new game acknowledged by Capcom in an official pool. The original Dino Crisis, a PS1 survival horror game, is available for all to purchase on PlayStation. Could we also see a new Devil May Cry game soon, following the success of the fifth? Could a new Mega Man game be on the way, or could Capcom revive another RPG series, Breath of Fire? Until then, Capcom is busy with Monster Hunter Wilds, due on 28th of February next year. I think a new Devil May Cry game is almost 100% guaranteed. With the success of the fifth one and the huge fan base that the game has, I think sooner or later a new Devil May Cry game will release. Now, if it's in the form of a new game or a remaster, remake, whatever, that I don't know, but I really believe we will see a new Devil May Cry game soon enough. And to end on another, this is on the gamer. Fable might come to PS5 due to monstrously expensive development, says Insider. Back in the day, Fable was one of Xbox exclusives, right up there with Halo in making the Xbox 360 a must-have. Now, an insider is saying that the new installment could come to PS5 the first time that the series launched on a Sony platform. This comes from a Windows Central's Jez Gordon, who commented on Fable's fast approaching release on Twitter. Here he says Fable's development has been monstrously expensive and the game is a likely candidate to be ported to PS5. And here's the thing, and I've talked about it in the past. Xbox needs PlayStation more than PlayStation needs Xbox. Because, as I said before, and I think many people know that, since the Xbox released the Game Pass, games don't sell on Xbox. The moment they started putting the new releases on the Game Pass day one, games will not sell on the Xbox. This is why I say that Xbox needs PlayStation, because when they put their games on PlayStation they have to, if people want to play the game, they have to buy the game. On Xbox you can just subscribe to the Game Pass and you have the game right there. So in terms of, this is the thing, and I've said this before, in terms of value for gamers, the Game Pass is very good, probably the best. But for games to make money, it's probably one of the worst things they ever did. That game is a monsterly expensive. It might not be day one, but it will come to with the current plan in place, in my opinion. Xbox won't have exclusives going forward. Everything is timed exclusive at most, says Gordon in tweets spotted by PlayStation Lifestyle. When someone doubted that Fable would be included in this, Gordon affirmed that it would be. That game was monstrously expensive. It might not be day one, but it will come with the current plan in place, in my opinion. We are increasingly seeing that Xbox is willing to share the games that it could make console exclusives. Most recently, a new trailer for The Outer Worlds 2 confirmed that it will be coming to the PS5 after all. Another upcoming Obsidian RPG, Avowed, is still listed as being PC and Xbox only, but that might change soon. Speaking on this topic, Gordon has previously said that the era of Xbox having permanent console exclusives is over. With that in mind, we can expect more releases like The Outer Worlds 2 or even Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is coming to PS5 at some point next year. Sony, on the other hand, has shown no sign of sharing its big exclusives with Xbox. At best, we eventually get a PC port sometime after launch. The most recent one to be revealed is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is coming to PC on January 23. And this is the thing, Sony doesn't need to put the games on Xbox, because, and people might be mad, but I think it's a fact. If PlayStation puts the games on Xbox and they are not on Game Pass, they will not sell, because Xbox players are now used to not having to buy the game to play it. I think that's a reasonable point I'm making, but well, if you agree, you agree. If you don't, that's your right. So I can't do nothing about that. But that's my point on that. And well, guys, let me know what you think of the Intergalactic trailer, and if you are excited about that. Let me know what you think of Xbox games coming to PS5 and not the other way around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.